Good evening, everybody. This is Crypto CJ's Trade of the Day, the Monday night Zoom edition. I've got some regulars and some new people aboard. It's exciting to see. Tonight we'll be looking at Bitcoin, and we'll also look at Altcoin Alert, some of their suggestions, and iCoinPro as well. We're focused on day trading for the next half hour, 45 minutes. And then after that, we might branch out to some other topics. So for now, let's look at Bitcoin. Share my screen. And can I get a confirmation you guys can see my Bitcoin screen? All right, heads nodding, that's good. It's punching up right now. It broke through 59, might be making a run through the elusive 60,000. That would be good. Going over to the hour chart just to review the weekend. We did hit 60,000 on the 1st. Was that Thursday night? And didn't hold it very long. Drop down here a couple days later, about 6%. This was Saturday evening. I initiated some trades in here, hoping to catch, thinking I had caught some dip trades, and it dipped even more. But some of those coins are starting to resolve today. So as Bitcoin's been recovering, took another drop here late last night, and then it's had a really nice recovery from that. So Bitcoin's not really been the major player it's been in our last few Zooms. We've had some, pretty large dumps, 15%, that kind of thing over the weekend, and even the, Monday morning a couple times. So this looks pretty good. I do want to look at something I've been looking at more often. This is Bitcoin dominance. Everybody should have this on their charts. BTC.D. Just type it in on a trading view like this, and it'll come up. Bitcoin dominance, the chart is just like it sounds. It's how much of the total market cap, of the total crypto market cap, is in Bitcoin. And right now it's at the 57 mark, which is the lowest it's been in 6 months. Go to the day chart here on Bitcoin dominance, and you can see it's 57 here, and hasn't been this low since September. And if I recall, September actually was a pretty strong month for the altcoins until it wasn't. But anyway, when we have a high Bitcoin price combined with a low Bitcoin dominance, that usually indicates overall good things for the altcoins, which of course we like to trade. So any questions on Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance before I move on to Altcoin Alert?
CJ?
Yes.
Are you following more Ethereum now that the dominance is less, going down 57 and below?
How do you mean following Ethereum?
Well, now that you are in an altcoin market, and it's an altcoin category, so it's kind of leading the way.
Okay,
and so are we now going to be starting Ethereum and tracking Ethereum because as it's pumping, then all the altcoins are following suit.
Yeah, I see your point. So as opposed to using Bitcoin as our, sort of leading the market, if we're in an altcoin, renaissance or whatever you want to call it, then Ethereum would be a better gauge. I mean, I follow it obviously because I trade it a lot and I own some and I got a bag of it. So for that reason, I do follow it. But I think what Connie's suggesting is to add Ethereum to Bitcoin is something we look at before we look at or consider any trades. Is that kind of where you're going with this? That is correct.
Well, also if you go into CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, they have the Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum dominance, and you're seeing that the Ethereum dominance is increasing. So since the Ethereum is now taking a larger portion of the market share, then you can see that relationship.
Okay. Well, for now, I'm on the Ethereum chart, the 1 hour, trending up really well. It seemed to be holding 2,000 as support. Tested it here and yesterday and then bounced right back up. So with that in mind, 2000 is probably our support in Ethereum. Probably around 56K would be the same for Bitcoin. It's probably a good idea to look at both of these before you're getting the general feel for these two coins before you make any other altcoin trades. So, all right, let's still like having Bitcoin up at all times. Let's go to Altcoin Alert. And this is the new and improved AA score. You see we got a couple in the 90s. And I'll move this over. And Voyager is on an exchange I don't use, but I have looked at DENT, ANKR, Hive, and some of these others. I've actually made a few trades based on this today. So ANKR is currently very bullish, 87.4. Let's look at this nifty new chart we have now. This is the sentiment score in the white lines, and the green lines is the actual score. So what I like to see is the sentiment, some distance above the actual score, and this tends to be something I want to look at and evaluate. So you can see we have the sentiment way up here at 0.18, the actual ANKR score here below 0.16. So with this distance between the white and the green lines, it's something I want to check out. I'm going to go back. One thing I've noticed when I go back, hit the back button on Altcoin Alert, it doesn't always take me to the most immediate update. So I'll have to refresh or reload. So now I'm back with the most recent scores. If I go to, I've got ANKR up as right now, and you can see we caught this in a dip sequence. Got the squeeze here, and that's bubbling out some, not as big as this one here, but consistent red candles going down. 1, 2, 3. It did touch the SMA line. One can view this as having to restart the sequence, but it kind of does anyway. We got 1. This one goes down briefly, 2, and then a big dip here, 3. So we're in, it's not a real clean 1, 2, 3 dip, but certainly a dip sequence. If you're interested in making a trade based on Altcoin Alert, this is one to seriously consider. You might want to wait till the MACD comes up and crosses, or you get 1 or 2 more candles trending up before you get in. But yeah, I like what I see here. This is something I would consider.
That's a big green candle.
We've got a candle here, the pretty large wick heading down. It's sort of a, reading my candles, that's sort of a rejection of this low. You have another wick on the prior candle also rejecting the low. So that, the candles are telling us it wants to go up. But that could change any second. So is this the candle you were talking about, Patrick? Okay, good. All right, so that's ANKR. Any questions on ANKR before I look at something else?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay.
It looks like you have 2 sets of Bollinger Bands.
Yes.
Is that something we do commonly, or is that?
That's a good question, Christopher. This is actually something that Justin Clark recommends, the iCoinPro co-founder. And it's the, what's he call it? The third deviation. So, I mean, it's not entirely necessary, but it does show a longer range for the Bollinger Bands, and sometimes a better entry point for your dip trades can be on this third deviation instead of the, the second deviation, which is what we have here. So yeah, I think this is where I have that. So if you go to your Bollinger Band settings, you can add another Bollinger Band setting to what you have already and just put under standard deviation instead of 2, which is the default, you put a 3. And then, you know, they recommend the 50-day length. Most traders like to use 20. You know, 50 is more conservative. It's kind of up to you. So that's how that works. It's just
Thank you.
it's just a little extra. Okay. All right, let's, if there's nothing else, we will see what else Altcoin Alert has for us. DENT at 91.1. Let's check that one out. Looked at this morning, but I haven't since then. Okay, let's get the overall picture here. I should have done this on ANKR, but I usually look at the day first to see if we're in an all-time high, and looks like we have reached one recently in DENT. Yeah, actually today it hit 2.2 cents. It's now like 1.9 cents. Look at the hour, still trending up and then dipping after that high. So it looks like we can catch this in a dip sequence. Got the squeeze here, it's bubbling out. 1, 2, 3. And a green candle here. This one's still red, but it's above the green candle. This might be one to consider as well. If you take this trade now, got 4.49% to the SMA line. Some resistance here. This is the 99-day moving average. Also corresponds to a few candles here. So there we have about 6.5%. Then if you want to go up to these green candles here, you know, over 10%. So this is intriguing. The only thing that discourages me is it's so close to this all-time high, but since we're in alt season, maybe that's not as much of an issue as it usually is for me. So this looks pretty good. Now I've got 2 green candles. Yeah. I wonder if I should do this right here. I think what I'll do is I'll set a low buy order, which is what I often do in situations where I can't watch it. Say if I see something I like, it's not quite there and I have to leave, you know, family outing or something like that. Or say if I'm hosting a Zoom call, just put in a low buy order, see if it catches. So it's a little dangerous because if you're not watching and the coin hasn't really hit your evaluation and what strategy you want to use, then you know you risk having it taking a big dump on you. But I have found probably a good 90% of the time, if I set a low buy order, I either get what I want or it just doesn't fill, and you know, no harm, no foul. So okay, let's look at another altcoin alert suggestion. Let's check out this Hive one. Okay, we've got the sentiment quite a bit above where the price is, so that looks good. Did I do that for DENT? I don't think I did. It's not a deal breaker one way or the other. On DENT, it was just a small difference. I'm really more interested in what the price action is, but this will, you know, any indicator we see that's in our favor can be helpful in determining whether we take a trade or not. So the Hive looks good on that regard. Let's check out the chart. Yeah, I'll go look at this one. This was in a dip sequence. Looks like we're a bit late. This is a gorgeous one. You know, squeeze, big bubble, multiple dips. Probably start counting here. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't even reach it. and then a strong comeback, good candle action here. So I would like to get in here right about this level here. SMA line 2%, 99 moving average 3%, and then you know, prior resistance is a little over 4%. So that would have been a good one, but we're a bit late. You still might want to catch the last couple percent on this one and you know, scrape it off. That's nothing wrong with that. So okay, let's look at maybe one more for Altcoin Alert. This one here, EWT, is not on Binance, so it's not something I would probably trade, but it is on KuCoin. So some of you guys like KuCoin. So we'll go ahead and take a quick look at it. And it looks like it's on Kraken too, but so this one's kind of pumping. So this would be a squeeze trade. It's above the SMA line, trending up, and we have a MACD cross above the histogram. Ideally, we would be in it or below it. RSI is trending up mostly. I'm not sure where you would get out of this. Top of Bollinger Bands 1%. But we did a series of higher lows. So that means there's a pretty good chance this one could work its way up even higher and maybe use one of these high points as an exit. So like the most recent high, over $19, 15%. So we might want to pull out our trusty fib extension. Yeah, let's do that. Patrick emailed me about this yesterday or day before. So let's talk about the fib extension and how to use it and where to get out. So the Fibonacci extension is a offshoot of the Fibonacci retracement strategy, which is an advanced charting method. Took me many months to learn, so I'm not going to try to teach it here tonight. But this particular tool is pretty easy to use. Trend-based fib extension. I use this when something's at or really close to an all-time high, and I still like it, and I still want to try to catch a new high. And this will give me some guidance as to where to get out. So I think our trend is starting here. So I'll put my first click. There's 3 clicks that you have to do. Do this one here. And follow it up to where you think the high is. I'm looking for the closing candle on the 1-hour chart. So I'm going to click here for my second click. Then I'm going to drag down here right to where I started. And it doesn't matter where you are, left or right. So I'm just going to put this here, you know, across from my first click. And what we're looking for as traders is this 1.272 area. But Patrick's greedy. He wants the 1.618. That's what he emailed me about. I'm teasing him a little bit, but get that 1.618. Okay, here's the 1.618. So what he asked me is, why not just, instead of going for the 1.272, why not go for the 1.618? And you can certainly do that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's obviously more risky. You know, the more profit you try to take, the more chance that the rally will die down. It'll dip on you. So,
Well, the 1.618 is the value of phi, the golden section,
right,
golden ratio.
right.
1.272 is the square root of that. So what I was really trying to say is go ahead and shoot for the 1.272, but if it gets closer there, cancel the trade and see how high you can go.
Yeah. Instead of setting a sell order, which I do probably 90+% of the time, you know, with that approach, you would set an alert that that you're at this, that you're at the 1.272, and then reevaluate, and then maybe get up here and get over 8% instead of you know, 3%, almost 4%. So yeah, both strategies are valid. And it's just how much, you know, additional risk you want to take on. You could also set a stop loss at some point, you know, once you're above, you know, even in this range here, to protect your profit, make sure you don't have a loss. I do that
Trailing
sometimes.
stop loss. But
Yeah,
trailing
unfortunately,
stop loss.
most exchanges don't have that.
Yeah.
Some do. I use it occasionally on FTX. FTX has it. The downside is that's a fairly low volume exchange, and what's happened to me a couple times is a trailing stop loss is treated like a market order, a market sell order, so you can have slippage when you're in a market order on the sale. So where I thought I was going to get a 5% profit, I ended up getting like a 1 or 2% profit. Not a huge difference, but it's still, you know, half the amount I expected to get. Seems like there's always a downside. All right. Any questions on the fib extension before I move on? Okay. And I was going to, anything else on Altcoin Alert? I really haven't been using these sorts as much as I was before, because the AA scores have been pretty helpful. I did a video on Friday about, you know, about 1 week using this, and you've had to ladder buy a few things, but overall it's been really good. So I like what I see so far. I hope they keep it up.
Hit the 1 hour projection and see what's going on right now.
All right.
I keep trying to do it on your screenshot. I like move my mouse.
Yeah, I've done that before.
I'm so used to seeing it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, so well, we've got, you know, different coins suggested based on this. XRP. When I was using the strategy more, I was looking for 5% or more on the upper, and at least a bullish score, and solid and positive scores under trading activity. I was less concerned about social activity, but so this is something let's check out XRP. God, lawsuit thing still bothers me with that. I really haven't looked at this coin seriously in quite a while. But I've got it here, XRP. Yeah, I haven't done my fib extension update since February, but yeah, it's been pumping. Wow, over 90 cents. That's amazing. You know, the libertarian in me just loves the kind of FU to the SEC that XRP is pulling off right now. It's kind of cool. But I don't know what the fundamentals are behind this, though. All right, that being aside, yeah, this is where you're trying to catch the trend. It's in a squeeze now, trending up a little bit above the SMA. You know, I would be nervous about buying it at this point. 2% at the top of the Bollinger Band. It's not bad. MACD is closing in. RSI is curving up. I don't know. Not loving it, but it's something you set an alert for if you want to catch a dip. Or you could use the fib extension like I just did if you feel strongly about it, and see where it's going to go and try to catch a 1.272 or 1.618. All right. Any questions on XRP before we head over to iCoinPro? All right, iCoinPro. And I don't get to use this tool as much as I would like, but today I've just been on the RSI SPY. We had some dipping going on, and And a lot of these coins dropped below the 30 value on the 1 hour RSI. Most of them are Bitcoin pairs, which I don't trade. But there are some USDT pairs in here too. At least there were about a half an hour ago. Maybe they're gone now. Okay. They've crept up a little bit. But we have T-Fuel here, which I know a lot of us have been interested in. So let's look at that one. We got I should probably mention I'm sorting this by 1 hour RSI. If you can get this value here below 30 on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, that's one to seriously take a look at. That's one that's really taken a beating and should be coming back soon. But again, I just don't like Bitcoin pairs. It's something as a trader I've never been comfortable with. It messes up my spreadsheet. All right, so I've got my drop down here to trading view, and it's going to open a new window for T-Fuel. And it's a big dipper. But it dips and hits the SMA, then just bounces back off it again. So I probably wouldn't try to get above the SMA as my exit in the short term. In the long term, I know it's got promise, but strictly as a day trade. Let's see, where would I start my sequence? I probably have to start over this punch through the SMA line here. So I've got really just one single dip here. I'll probably set an alert down here somewhere. Try to get to the SMA line, 3%, it's not bad. Yeah, I tried to buy this coin several months ago in this scenario and got burned, had to take a loss. So tend to remember those more than the wins, but okay, Theta Fuel. Any questions on this before I move on? All right. And I just jumped back in there. That's the other one I wanted to look at. Luna. I actually took this trade. And so I thought I had it up, but I don't. It's 26.84 on the 1 hour RSI. I'll just show you what that looks like. So on the hour chart here on Luna, this is touched down. It came back up, but at some point this was down here below the 30, and that's usually mean it's oversold and due for a comeback. So on the 5-minute chart, yeah, squeeze, bubble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6 dipper. And looks like I bought a little too early, but I bought after what I thought was the 4th dip right around here. And it's still dipping. So if it doesn't recover soon, I'm gonna have to ladder buy it, but still looks like a good trade to me. Unless there's something in the news about Luna. I did check that, but nothing since March 17th. So if you bought here, the SMA line's 2.3%, MA99, 3.28. I'm trying to get up here to a little over 4%. It's my goal on this trade. I think I've got a sell set for 18.2. So yeah, I'm actually kind of pushing it all the way up to this resistance here. So if this doesn't show signs of recovery, by tomorrow morning or so, I'm gonna have to either ladder buy or reevaluate and lower my exit point. It's not real high now anyway, but again, I try not to be in a trade for more than a day or two on these. So that's Luna. Any questions on this before I move on to the Buddy Coin Crawler? Okay. All right, so the other iCoinPro tool I like to use is the Buddy Coin Crawler. And I sort this from the average low to the SMA line. The low is a 24-hour low that the coin has had, and the SMA line is, as you've seen on many of the charts, is that dark pink line I have between the Bollinger Bands. I'm looking for values of 5% or higher. That tells me the coin has room to move. BitTorrent has come back from the dead lately, and now it's showing me a 10.93%. Buddy Coin Crawler score, which tells me it's moved a lot. Let's look at the day chart real quick. Yeah, we hit an all-time high yesterday, well actually today, and then it dropped quite a bit. I think these times are in UTC time, so it's showing the 6th, even though it's the 5th here. The 5-minute chart looks like a dip sequence to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dips with candle action trending down, might be going down again. So this might be another one to consider if you, but I would want to see some evidence of a recovery before I got back in. So, but definitely a solid dip sequence to trade. So, any questions on BTT? Let's look at one more on the Buddy Coin Crawler. Storm. Look at the volumes on these coins. Storm, which I barely heard of, over 100 million. You know, Win 2.3 billion. It's crazy. WRX. This was under a million, you know, a few months ago. Now it's almost $1 billion. This is at Indian Exchange. Let's look at that one. I had good results with that last year. All right. Day chart tells me that we hit an all-time high. It's coming down from that. It's been mostly sideways on the hour chart. Trending up pretty hard. So could be sort of a risky squeeze. It's towards the top of the Bollinger Band already, but this is good and action here. Really good action here. So if you want to catch this and ride the, see if you can get back to here to this resistance, 12%. Yeah. I kind of like what I see there, but again, when it's that close to the top of the Bollinger Band, can be a bit risky. But overall, yeah, this coin's been solid lately, so something to seriously consider. All right, any questions on WRX? Okay, well, we've been going over a half an hour on both iCoinPro and Altcoin Alert. I'll throw this open. Any questions you guys have on day trading on those platforms or anything on the topic? Let's see if I can look at the chat. Okay, Xrp Projection is $1.30 from Andy. Andy, you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a report earlier today that XRP, even though it was in the lawsuit, their projections going up to $1.30 in the short term.
Yeah, what's the source of that? Is what I was curious about.
It's a Coinbase article that comes out.
Okay.
So
Anyone
it's
else
like
want to chime in on that? You know, that'd be a great result for XRP, obviously. But all right. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's at 90 cents now. So yeah, why couldn't it go to $1.30? That is one of my other alerts. MTL. Let's look at that. Okay, did we look at this one earlier? I don't remember. Well, this coin's in another dip sequence. And it's dropped a bit, 5.6. Okay, I think I set this alert earlier in the day, and then I decided I was going to get in. So it really hasn't changed much since when I got in. All right, so let's go back to the chat. So Brett's asking, haven't used Bollinger Bands, but I am in on this now, bought at 4.7. Brett, which coin was that? If you're out there. Okay, WRX. So, all right. WRX at 4.7. Nice. And JC is asking, what do I think about Matic and Injective? Yeah, I mean, I've traded Matic a lot. I traded INJ a few times. When Altcoin Alert sends out news of a partnership through a significant development or a sig dev, ideally it's a situation where it's a not real, well, it's a coin partnering with a corporation or a government or a really well-known project. So I would say Matic is sort of a medium to well-known project. So that might affect INJ's or Injective's price more than it would Matic's, but that'd be my opinion on that one. Yeah, Alan's mentioning that INJ has been partnering up a lot. They have. We've seen a lot of those sig devs regarding INJ, and definitely could have some upside. Okay, Kim, who I believe lives in Australia, is a late arrival and is asking me to go over Bitcoin in the short term. So let's look at BTC again real quick, see if it's changed much since we looked at the beginning of the broadcast here. Yeah, it did pump up. It was hitting 59 right when I started about 35 minutes ago, and it seems to be holding. Dipped a little bit. Now it's going sideways at 59.2. It keeps losing 59 and dropping into the 58, sometimes the 57s. Obviously, it needs to hold 59 before I can get up to 60 and hold that. So looking at the 1 hour chart, this is the highest it's been in a couple days. So the volume on Bitcoin, 3.2 billion. Slightly high. Well, it's higher than it was over the weekend, obviously. So if it gets up in the 4s tomorrow or the next day, that's a good sign. That's probably going to break 60. But again, whether it can hold it or not sure. On the day chart, 13th of March is where it hit this. I think it was 61.8. Yeah. And hasn't been back there since, though it's tried several times. So a lot of people taking profit there. I know when it gets at or near 60, I usually buy a bear coin, a leverage token that profits when it goes down. I've done pretty well on those. I usually pop it for 7 to 10% each time that happens. But I know eventually it's going to go and then stay beyond 60. I'll get burned. I'll have to take a loss. But if I could trade something 5 or 6 times and take one loss, and overall that works for me. So, all right. Chance of a significant dip on Bitcoin. Feel like I'm wandering into the area of financial advice with this kind of thing, but March historically is the worst performing month for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin had kind of a ride in March. It pumped up and dropped quite a bit. April is usually strong. The 53.5 bottom has been tested a few times and held as support. That seems to have moved up to around 56. So when you have higher lows like that, that's a bullish sign, and makes me think that April could be the month that we get beyond 60 and hold it. But everybody has an opinion. That's just how I feel about it. Not entirely sure that that's going to happen, but that's how I feel about it. Anybody else want to chime in about their opinions on Bitcoin's trek for April?
CJ, the conversation that I have heard more than not is the fact that Bitcoin is probably going to be going sideways to the altcoin action, and therefore it is going to be retesting that 60. And we're going to have to get the dominance to go back up for Bitcoin to actually go ahead and break out. And there's a strong conversation going to 70, but until we get that pump and that breakout, but right now, as long as we have the narrative where we're seeing the decline in the Bitcoin dominance, we're in altcoin season, and altcoin season is here for April. And that's the prognosis, is that we'll have a strong April where we can really make some money, and but it's going to take a strong pump.
Yeah, Kim, you weren't here for our earlier discussion about how Ethereum might be a better gauge of the overall market than Bitcoin at this moment, based on Bitcoin's lower dominance and Ethereum's rise, and Ethereum being the main altcoin. So with that in mind, Ethereum might be the better coin to watch. I know we're not used to that. I know I'm not. I look at it every day, but not the way I look at Bitcoin. So that'll be a new habit to get into. If this is altcoin season, then yeah, Ethereum's going to be the better test. So
I bought a handful of Ethereum back last April, about a year ago, and it's up now by a factor of 13.
Oh.
Yeah.
As day traders, I hate to hear that.
Well, I've told the group I want to do both.
No, I agree. I think it's a good idea to do both, and are sort of wandering out of day trading, but that's okay. I was going to open that up anyway. So, I personally, 90% of what I do is day trading, and then I do some staking and some investing too. So, there's nothing wrong with buying and holding if you feel strongly about the project. I think all of us have our coins that we like to hold, and probably just don't, I would say, sell them when the charts don't support holding them, and then buy them back lower if you can. That's probably where I would approach that, and that's a strategy I'm looking to get into. Buying and holding, and selling, buying back, lower points, when the charts show that. So I've got a few more minutes if you guys want to talk about just about anything crypto related. Tonight is the NCAA National Championship, so I'm gonna duck out a little earlier than usual, but Gonzaga versus Baylor should be interesting. Okay, everybody. Looks like that's all we have. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And